In this video, I started out with $0 in a truck, and now I have the challenge of building a self-sustaining farm from scratch. But there's a twist. I have to do it completely off-grid. Will I go broke, or will I make it big? Stay tuned to find out. And if you guys enjoy content like this and you want to see more, be sure to subscribe, and dropping a like helps too. Anyway, let's go build a farm. Well, today is the day. I got $0 in my bank account, and I am on my way to my off-grid property. Well, at least the start of it. I got nothing but what's in my truck, and this, this piece of land down here. And this is basically it. So I decided I finally had enough of the on-grid lifestyle and decided to move completely off-grid, spent the last of my money on this property, and a full tank of fuel in my truck, and this is basically what we have. Now, there is not a lot out here. There is a good bit of trees that we own on our property now, but unfortunately, just cutting these trees down and selling them is not really an option. You see, the only wood that's actually worth money out here is milled lumber, and since we don't have a lumber mill, we don't really have any way to make money. However, I have a plan. You see, just across this big old hill, there is a farmer who I bought this land from, and even though we're still quite a far ways out of town, at least an hour if not more, he has a fully on-the-grid farm, and to get my operation off the ground and actually get some money in my account, he offered me a job temporarily to hopefully get things moving. Now, the land that we have kind of in this little valley here is not very farmable. There's a lot of rocks out here, like big rocks, and they're pretty dang hard to move. The only chunk that we could actually ever really farm would be this small piece of land right by the road that's literally up against the hill. But I am thinking our best bet out here would be animals, most likely cattle. However, we just don't have any equipment at the moment, so we're gonna have to go make some money to get some. All right, so I've just made the 20-minute drive down the mountain here to Jack's farm. Now, Jack is an old retired man who bought this big old chunk of property out in the mountains here, and now he kind of runs a fairly decent farming operation. And I mean, just look at this entrance. This is something. Now, from what I know of Jack, he kind of just does this as more of a hobby, just, you know, something to do. But I mean, look at the size of this guy's farm. It is huge, and I don't know where he's at. I imagine he's somewhere around here, but we're just gonna take a quick little walk around the place. So it does look like he does a bit of crop farming, and then looks like mostly hay equipment. There's a feed mixer there, so he probably does some cattle too. But I mean, look at the size of some of this equipment. Pretty decent operation. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna head into the shop here and see if he's there. All right, so I just had a quick chat with Jack here, and he has given me quite the rundown on what my new tasks are going to be here. So basically, he's sending me to do all the jobs he doesn't want to do, which is fair enough. That's the reason why I'm hired here. I'm just hopping in my truck here, and we're going to run down to a corner of his property that he wants cleaned up. He's going to meet me over there, and it looks like this is it. Oh, here he is. Look at this truck. Man, I wish. Mine's looking a little worse for wear. Okay, so I just got the rundown here, and basically what needs to be done is he wants to tear down this old barn. He wants to get everything out of here, and he has plans to build a sawmill here. I'm not sure why, but I guess he wants some lumber. Apparently, he has a few big projects on the farm that are going to require some, and he doesn't want to pay an arm and a leg for it because town is at more than an hour away, and it's quite expensive there. Now, since I bought that original plot of land from Jack, just across the big old hill here, or I should say mountain, I told him that I wanted to start an off-grid farm, and he knows that I have no equipment, so he did mention if I wanted to work it off, he has this old equipment that he wants cleared out as well. Now, he said this came with the property when they bought it a couple years ago, and since then, obviously, he's bought a lot more newer equipment, so he has no use for this old stuff here. Now, this is an old John Deere 620 with a super old style loader, and there's a bit of hanging equipment here. He says he wants it cleaned out anyway, so if I'm willing to fix it up and work it off, I can have it. Well, not have it, I have to work it off. But this might actually be a start to possibly building our farm, since if I had to go out and buy just normal equipment, it would take me a whole summer of working here. Now, I've also been told that all this junk here has to go to the scrapyard, except for this, what is this, Lone Star 1600 with a bale bed, which he would like to get up and running. And I do have some mechanical skills, not a ton, but I do have some. He wants to get this cleaned up and running, and the rest of this junk, he told me, just can go to the scrapyard. Now, I would prefer not to take up to the scrapyard, since it looks like this F100, which is a bit rusty, it looks like it could get running. This Chevy flatbed looks like it could be running, and this second gen, it's a bit worse for wear, but it's got all the parts. They gotta remember, this is an old rich dude. He don't give a crap about any of this. He just wants it out of here. So he did tell me, I don't care what you do with it. You can get them running, you can take them, whatever. I just don't want them on the property because I want this area cleaned up. And that little kind of shop there by that trailer, he said I can use that if I want to get them running. Just as long as this is all out of here. And it looks like this is an old bale wagon too. A little worse for wear, but I think I might be able to have a full farming operation out of this. So with my new task acquired, it was time to get to work. And with Jack's abundant farm equipment supply, I was gonna make quick work of this. And with all this equipment at my disposal, I was gonna have a good time doing it. And the first order of business was to get what couldn't be saved out of here and on the trailer. And to get the most out of my load into town since it was so far away, I had to play a bit of Django. That is, a very big version of it. The tricky part was making sure I didn't damage any of Jack's nice equipment. That and somehow getting this bale trailer with about an inch on each side out of the barn. I don't even know how they got it in there. But eventually I did get the trailer filled up and it was time to go to the scrapyard. But not before I got everything strapped down. And after an hour of driving and a very tight bridge, I had made it into town. And after selling all the scrap, I was on my way back to the farm. And after getting back to the farm, instead of going back to the job at hand, Jack had something else in mind. You see, Jack, or should I say Jack's wife, has a lot of horses, and those horses need hay. So after grabbing some equipment, I was on my way to go get some. And with about a 20-minute tractor drive later, I had arrived. And after about 45 minutes of trying to figure out case loader controls, I had a full load of bales. Alright, back at the farm once again. As you can see in my account, I have $500 right now. Now the reason for that is because of the scrap. That surprisingly only got a $500 check. But I did ask Jack if he wanted that check, and he said, nope, just keep it. So I guess I have $500 now. I prefer to be making it off my own land, but in this case, since I don't have a way to make money right now, this is the best it's gonna get for the time being. I was told just to leave this tractor and trailer right here, so I guess I'm gonna get back to the task that I was supposed to be doing. Oh boy, this is gonna be a long walk. Okay, so since this barn is getting tore down, I gotta get the last of these trucks out of here. Now, Jack had no information to give me on these trucks because they were here when he bought them, and I couldn't take these to the scrapyard, so I'm gonna try to at least get them running. Now, from what I can see of this second gen here, there is a spare motor in the back. It looks like a 24 valve Cummins, and there's a spare hood, so this thing must have been in some sort of an accident or something. Needs a new engine, and needs a new hood. And it looks like it also needs some tires. Now, I was told there were some tires in the shed, or I guess the main shop there, so I might have to run over and grab those, see if I can get this rolling, at least out of here. But for right now, I gotta focus on this Lone Star truck, get it running, and hopefully operational again. Okay, so I've spent the last 20 minutes working on this thing. Real pain, but I think I got it. I got the battery all charged up with some booster cables. I got a mouse nest cleaned out of the air filter. I drained the fuel I could out of the tank and put some of Jack's fuel in there via jerry cans, so we're gonna see if this thing will start. The bale bed on this, I'm not too sure what it needs to get going again, but we're gonna see. I'm hoping maybe just a hydraulic line or two because these look all pretty rotted out, so we'll see. It was close. There she goes. Oof, sounds a little rough. Probably needs some better fuel ran through it. All right, she's moving. We got a working truck. I figured this would be pretty easy. These old Lone Stars, they're so easy to get going, it's not even funny. Okay, so if I pull the lever on the bed, nothing happens. Now there's a gauge for hydraulic pressure. This thing's got none, so I'm guessing the hydraulic pump is out on it. That's probably why it was parked. But it needs a new hydraulic pump. That's okay. I can get one of those in, but it does run and drive. That's the important part. I'm gonna get it pulled up to the shop. I'll wash it off quick, do a little more checking, and get Jack to order some parts. The tires, surprisingly enough, are still holding air, so this thing probably hasn't been parked that long. It just needs a little TLC. There we go, all washed off. I know it doesn't look like it, but that's rust and grime and buildup and crap. Tried to get what I could off with the pressure washer, but you can only do so much sometimes. So I'm gonna park it on the side of the shop for now. If it starts, nope, battery's dead. Okay, I'll come back to that later. Alrighty, so I just got the Chevy rolled out and the Ford rolled out here. Luckily, I have a winch on the truck, so it wasn't too terribly hard. I wasn't gonna try get these running because I actually probably want to do some more work on them before that because these have been sitting way longer than that bale truck. But other than the rust and a few dents here and there, they're not looking bad. The only truck left is this second gen, so I gotta go grab those wheels that are in the shop there, and hopefully we can get this all semi-buttoned up other than the engine and the hood, and maybe we can get it moving again. Check it out. Look what I got. A second gen on wheels. It just does not drive right now, so I'm gonna use the loader, get it into that shed, and I'll fix it when I have some more money to buy parts, because this thing's probably gonna need a lot of work and a lot of parts. My priority is gonna be getting that tractor going so I can actually start my own farming endeavors. But luckily I got a small little shed to use here, so hopefully that helps a little bit. That way I'm not gonna be completely out in the elements. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to pick up the rest of the trucks with the forks, but I'm gonna try. As long as we pick them up by the frame, we should be all right. Although this Chevy might snap in half. I imagine the frame's pretty rusted. Well, we kind of got it. Now this is the truck I'm thinking is just gonna run super easily. So once I get a bit of time here tonight, I'm gonna try see if I can just fire it right up. I'm not sure if I'd keep this one since it's not really a big workhorse. It just doesn't have the power behind it with that old gas motor, but I can give it a try, see if it'll run. And since Jim's letting me keep all that, maybe I'll see if I can sell it. Now I did tell Jim, since he's letting me keep so much here and he let me keep the scrapyard money, he is not paying me for today because he was gonna pay me on top of me working off that tractor and those implements, and I'm not letting him. That is just, he's giving me too much here, but he knows I'm trying to start that farm and I need all the help I can get. So luckily he's gracious enough to help out. Okay, so other than getting rid of the barn itself, we've got all the junk out of there, so that can be tore down. Jim said he's waiting on a call back from the rental company for the excavator and the dump truck, which I'll have to go pick up if he does get that. So we're just waiting on that. I'm gonna try see what this tractor needs. First, I gotta get it out of the bush, though. I'm not sure why it was parked, why it's not running. Jim doesn't know either, but we're gonna see. Okay, so I've been messing around with this. There was a cracked fuel line, which there was plenty of those in the shop, so I put one on. I did drain all the old fuel, get some new stuff back in there. That's when I found there was that cracked fuel line. So that's all good. We're gonna try and fire it up. I did also get a new battery in there that was sitting in a back corner of the shop there that was actually fully charged. I put a tester on it, was fully charged, which thank goodness Jim's allowing me just to use whatever I need here to get this thing running. So we're gonna try start it, see if it goes. Nope, not quite. Oh, just gotta get some of that new fuel through there. Oh, we good? I think we're running. Okay, let me see if this hydraulic system here still has pressure. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, let me set this down so I can click this, whatever, this tiny little bucket into place. There we go. Okay, drive? Right, nope, it's not going in drive. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna shut it off, see if I can figure this out. Okay, so it's a broken bolt on the linkage. That's why. At first, I thought it was the transmission possibly, because that would have been really expensive to replace, and I was not hoping for that, but it was just the linkage, I think. We're gonna try again. Come on, please fire up. Oh yeah, like new. All right, linkage is actually good now. Popping into gear. Oh, holy smokes, boys. We got a driving tractor. Maybe we can get a farm going after all here. Oh yeah, she cruises too. Look at this. Oh yeah. Real nice. Okay, well, this thing does not have terribly much fuel in it, so I'm just gonna stop it right here. So now the trouble of the equipment. It's an old sickle mower. It definitely needs new blades. It needs a new belt. 3 new belts, actually. That looks like it, actually. Chains get on it. Let's get on it. Okay, I think it just needs new blades. The rake honestly looks fine. I think maybe just a bit of grease. The baler, I don't know crap about balers. I'm gonna try, see if I can dig inside of it and figure out what the heck it needs. It's definitely gonna need some twine. Tires are good on it. We're good there. It's gonna need some greasing, all that good stuff, but we might actually be all right. Definitely some oil on the chains too, because all these old balers are ran off a lot of chains or belts. Either a new belt or some chain oil, and we might be okay. We might be in business. Okay, so Jack just called here. He said the truck and excavator are good to go pick up. We're gonna do that. But while I'm driving to town there, I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity for a parts run, so we're gonna grab all the parts we need and the parts we need for the bale truck as well. Jim just says he has an account at the parts store, so it should be simple. Of course, the parts for my stuff, I'm gonna pay for. All right, I'm hoping this isn't too expensive on my dime. I do have a list though, so we'll see. Parts are secured. I spent $300. Not too happy about that, but got the parts for my stuff, and then Jim paid for his, I guess. But I'm thinking since it's already coming to the end of the day here, this may be a tomorrow project. I'm not too sure yet. All right, this is the rental place. There is the truck and excavator he mentioned. I just gotta actually park proper here. This is not a parking spot. Parking spots are over here. Let's roll. Big old Western Star. This is such a nice truck. Just look at the interior on this. They even got wood flooring. I don't think it's actual wood. I think, yeah, that's just a plastic covering. But still, nevertheless, It's pretty dang cool. Also, this thing sounds wicked good. I'm not sure if the rental company thought this out, but this is an awfully big excavator to be towing with this thing. This is kind of ridiculous, but it is towing it. Okay, back at the farm once again. I'm just gonna park this here. Jack has told me that he would specifically like to tear down the barn, since I guess he likes running the excavator. So I am gonna let him do that. In the meantime, since that barn's not getting tore down until tomorrow, since it's already pretty much the end of the day, I'm gonna see if I can get this Lone Star fixed up. Now, my plan was to originally sleep in the back of my truck, but since that's all the way in town, Jack offered me to stay in this old trailer home here, which I am more than happy with. It's a lot better than sleeping in the back of a truck. But since there's still daylight and it never seems to get dark here, I'm gonna continue working on this old Lone Star. Well, good morning. It's another day. We got the dump truck and excavator pulled over there last night, so it's ready to go for Jack this morning. But I ended up getting the Lone Star finished last night. Got the new hydraulic pump in. That's good to go. It all runs good. I replaced 2 hydraulic lines, and she is fully operational. And today, since I got the parts, I'm going to attempt to get some of this other equipment going and fixed up, ready to go. And while I was in town, I did grab some twine yesterday for this little Massey square baler, and I should have the rest of the parts to get everything else going. I'm gonna run some of this over to the shop quick, and we're gonna try get it all cleaned up a little and running. That's the goal. And that should be everything, I think. I got it all next to the pressure washer here. We're gonna try clean it all up. That way I got a nice clean surface to work on. I don't think I'm gonna get to any haying today, since it's probably gonna take me about 2 hours of driving with that old John Deere just to get up to my land, but we're gonna see what happens. I also think Jack is working on that barn down there, getting it tore down, because I heard an excavator rev up and then a loud crash of old breaking barn. So I think it's coming down. And this stuff actually cleans up not half bad. Too bad it's just been sitting for so long, just needs a little bit of work. But TLC. Okay, so my first order of business was to get this sickle blade mower done and working. I think it's good. I replaced all the blades, replaced the belts. We fired up now. Look at that. And it's all greased and everything, so we're good there. Luckily, it didn't need any bearings, or else I would have had to take another trip into town and spend the last of my money, but we're good there. So I'm gonna give a little try here real quick. Hope Jack doesn't mind me giving his grass a little touch up. We working? We cutting? I think we are. Yeah, look at that. We can't go terribly fast, but that is fine. This is just to get our operation going. We are cutting. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, big rock. I think we just jumped over it. We'll be all right. There we go. Well, I'm happy with that. So it's been a couple of hours here, and all the equipment is now functional, including the baler, which was what I was most worried about, but it is good to go as far as I know. I haven't actually tried baling a bale with it, but everything seems to be working fine. I guess I'll have to learn if it is officially once I start baling, but everything else works good. I did some more tuning on the tractor. That's good. And I think Jack is finished tearing down the barn. Just got to run out that way. Really getting my cardio in this week, that's for sure. Yeah, there is no more barn there. It is gone. Look at that. So what he told me he's doing is getting rid of the barn, which he's clearly already done. I think he's just gonna burn this wood here. Wasted good barn wood though, although it was pretty rotted, so makes sense. He's gonna bring in some rock and stuff, build a nice platform for a sawmill, and then he's gonna get some builders to come in here and do that, since neither of us really are particularly skilled in building a sawmill. Well, I've spent the last couple hours here working on this Ford. It is actually an F250. You can't really see it because it's so faded, but it is a 250. It wasn't in bad condition at all. The tires, they hold air, but they are very rotted, so not the greatest, but I believe this thing should be ready to start. Fires right up. With some fresh gas, this thing is good to go. And if you look inside, the little fan even still works. That is sweet. It's a manual transmission, which is kind of cool. I haven't tried driving it yet, but we're gonna try now. There she goes. We got us a working truck. Yeah, I'm gonna be careful. You can even see those tires. They're just wobbling all sorts of ways because they're so bulged out from when I tried to fill them with air. Yeah, not too great. So since I'm essentially in possession of this now, and I'd love this truck, but I'd love to keep it. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense since it's not a big workhorse. I'm gonna try sell it for some extra cash so I can get these two running. This one, I was able to get it roughly started. It runs very rough. I think it needs a bit more work. But when I tried driving it, the transmission's completely gone. So it needs a new transmission, which I should be able to get from the scrapyard for a couple $100. And then this truck, everything seems good on it. I was, of course, not able to get it running because I need to swap the engine in. But once I get my truck back with my toolbox and stuff, I should be able to swap that in. Well, I have been tasked with another job from Jack here. He wants me to get on cutting some hay. I have not cut hay with something like this in particular, so this might be a bit of a learning curve. This is an absolute setup. This is one of these New Holland TV 670s that has like the swivel cav on it, or the swivel seat, I should say. So you can flip it right around to go the complete other direction if you need, but this is how it's set up right now. He wants me to cut this back piece that we kind of just cleaned up here, and it is absolutely massive, so we're gonna see how this goes. Okay, I've gotten everything unfolded here. I don't know how this is gonna go. He didn't give me a crash course on how to run it. He said, just hop in it and you'll figure it out. Well, we're moving. This thing's so dang big, it's gonna be hard to get into some of the corners here. I was also told, don't worry about that. Just rough around the edges is fine, but I can try to get pretty dang close with it. But with this equipment, we're not gonna be taking very long out here. This will be a quick job. Now, Jack has a lot more hayland. This is just the stuff very close to his house, and this was the only field he felt comfortable enough to get going this early in the year, but he usually does multiple cuts on this. And I think after it's all raked and baled, he's got that big pile of manure back there that he wants to get spread on it from his cows over the winter. So if I'm not doing my own work, I'm definitely gonna be out here, but I'm happy to because I have been given so much equipment, it helps. And I don't think I would have been able to get everything started on my own. Now, I did put that little F-250 on Facebook Marketplace, so we're going to see if it sells. And if it does, I'll have a little more cash to fix up the rest of the trucks and hopefully get some money in my bank account. So I don't always have to be doing work out here. I can actually start working on my own stuff. But Jack said, and I quote, "I can't believe you got that dang thing running," which I'm kind of surprised I did either. But those old Fords, they tend to just work. All right, this is the last of the field here, and it went pretty dang fast. This mowing setup, it's something, that's for sure. It is pretty easy to use once you get used to it, though. Anyways, Jack did give me a call while I was down here, and he said if I wanted to take that equipment that I had up to my property there, since my truck is all the way in town there, and town's about an hour drive, and we're not done with the rental equipment just yet. He said I was more than welcome to use one of his trucks and a gooseneck and get that done. So I think we'll be doing that. Oh man, look what I get to use. This is way too nice for me. I can't get used to this. I gotta go back to driving my crappy old Ford. Okay, so everything's on the trailer here. Just getting it all strapped down. I got everything but the bale wagon there, but we'll come get that once I get my truck back. For now, I gotta run this all the way up the mountain here over to my property, which with this Dodge shouldn't take long. So yeah, obviously with all this equipment and getting the trucks and stuff, I'm definitely gonna be doing a lot more work for Jack. At the same time though, I'm gonna be trying to work on my own property, trying to get some income there, but I wanna make sure I definitely pay Jack back in my work for all the help he's given me and all the stuff, of course, because there's a lot of money here. Even though it was junk, and he was even considering just sending this stuff away or just sending it up to an auction, not running, not working, not nothing, it would have went for real cheap. But now that it's all running and all fixed up, it's actually worth a decent amount. Well, I made it back down here to my property, got all my equipment unloaded, and now it's just gonna be hopefully getting all this cut, baled, and sold. That way maybe I can invest in a house, at least somewhere to live, and maybe some cattle sooner than later. But I think if we get it done early enough, we should be able to get 2 cuts off, which I'd really like. Of course, the end goal is to make this self-sustainable, not to rely on Jack, but there was literally no way I could do it by myself all the way out here because I can't just sell firewood or logs or anything like that. It's not worth anything out here since we're so far away from town. The only thing that's worth any money is full-blown lumber, and sawmills are expensive, so this was the only way to go about it. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed. Subscribe, and goodbye.